Hello, boys and girls. I'm going to be reading to you today from The World According to Humphrey by Betty G. Burney, and we're going to start on page 80. Garth slowly shook his head no. Your grades are slipping too. Has something changed in your life? Garth slowly shook his head again. How about at home? Is anything wrong? Garth didn't shake his head. He didn't move a muscle. Should I talk to your parents about your behavior, Garth? Garth's face got very red. No, he said with a choking sound. Mrs. Brisbane moved closer and put her hand on Garth's shoulder. Tell me what's wrong. My mom's sick, he said, real sick. Tears ran down his cheeks. I was feeling a little teary-eyed myself. How sick? Mrs. Brisbane asked. She lost all this weight, and she was in and out of the hospital, and now she's just tired all the time, and... Garth didn't try to finish his sentence. Garth wiped away the tears with the tissue Mrs. Brisbane handed him. That's why I can't take Humphrey home. My dad says we can't let anything bother Mom. Well, my little brother bothers her, and we let him in the house. Mrs. Brisbane smiled slightly. Humphrey is a big responsibility, Garth. That's why I don't take him home. My husband's been sick too. Did you know that? Garth shook his head. No. So I know what it's like. Listen, I'll make a few calls tonight. Maybe we can find a way for you to spend some time with Humphrey, she said. But he hates me, I squeaked. I'd like to, said Garth. Huh? I was confused. But you have to promise me that you won't disrupt the class any more, Mrs. Brisbane told him. Is that a deal? Garth nodded. Deal. As you know, I'm very good at coming up with plans to solve human problems. Very, very good. But try as I might, I couldn't imagine what Mrs. Brisbane planned to get Garth to spend time with me could be. I was still trying to figure it out when Aldo arrived that night. Humphrey, my man, he yelled when he opened the door. I almost fell off my wheel. You are the most handsome, intelligent hamster in the world, and I am the luckiest man in the world, because I am dating the most beautiful woman in the world. Aldo swept his way toward my cage, then lowered his voice. But don't tell anybody I said so. Not yet. After all, Maria and I have only been out 3 times, but oh, what times we've had. He pulled up a chair and sat very close to me. And it's all thanks to the Moonlighters Club and that clipping over there. He pointed toward the spot where the overhead projector had once stood. And you. I know you had something to do with it. I just can't figure out what. Anyway, don't tell anybody, but someday I'm gonna marry Maria. And when I do, I want you to be best man. Or best hamster, I guess. I really mean it. If you were a guy, I'd buy you a burger. He reached in his pocket and pulled out a little piece of foil. Instead, I got you this. And he unwrapped a piece of carrot and put it in my cage. Thank you, Aldo, I squeaked. I wish you lots of happiness. I knew you'd be happy for me, Humphrey, Aldo smiled, then jumped up. Woo! I've got so much energy I can clean this room in half the time. I could climb a mountain and not even get tired. I could conquer the world. And he leaned forward and grinned through his glorious mustache. Ain't love grand? If you say so, I replied. I'd never seen anyone so happy before. The only thing that made me that happy would be if Ms. Mac came back. She's not coming back. And I'm still stuck with Mrs. Brisbane. And she's stuck with me. Say, what did she mean when she said she doesn't take me home because her husband's sick? Did she mean she would take me home if her husband wasn't sick? I thought about it all night, and I came up with this answer. Nope, nope, nope. She doesn't take me home because she doesn't like me. Maybe I'm lucky after all.